All right, Harmon, this is my nephew, Harmon. I don't like him that much, but I'm gonna teach him about muzzleloader hunting because it is October. Nope, it is November 1st. Bucks are going crazy. I was out this morning with the muzzleloader, saw like 9 different bucks, so we've only got like an hour. Do you think you can or want to learn how to muzzleloader hunt in an hour?
Yep.
Harmon's been bow hunting. He's shot plenty of bucks with his rifle and all that. It's just life got you pretty busy now. Yep. So in the old days, Harmon, they had, more like a Kentucky long rifle style rifle, and this is a flintlock. I've got this, one of my best friends, the dearly departed Ted Hatfield, gave this to me. He custom made this. Flintlock strikes the flint.
Yeah.
This pushes down. This lights a form of really fine powder in that pan. That spark goes down in the pan, it goes in the flash hole, that starts another charge of powder, and it fires, anywhere from a 32 to 50 caliber round ball that looks like this with a patch on it so it will fit in the grooves of the rifling of the rifle. Now there's a reason that Indians attacked the pioneers in the rain, because these things, I hunt with it sometimes because it's fun.
But shot something with that?
Yeah, I've killed a couple does. We used to have an annual hunt, but if you really want to kill something, probably not the rifle. It's fun, but now my buddy Fish, who's here, he's an expert. Maybe he can shoot a little longer, but for me, 50, 60 yards is about all, I want to do. They're fun, they're historic, not what I would choose if we have an hour to get set up. So let's go into more modern muzzleloaders. This rifle is one of my favorites, and I killed a deer with it. This is a 54 caliber Hawken, 54 caliber, look at the hole in that thing. And this is like something you'd see on Jeremiah Johnson, but because I have my best buddy Dave Fisher here, who happens to be a muzzleloader expert, he built this gun, gave it to me, I'm gonna have him explain about it. And then you can decide if you wanna shoot this or move to a more modern gun even.
Well, Harmon, this was during the 70s and the 80s when I was coming up. It was very, very common for CVA and Thompson Center and all to offer kits. So you would actually get an unfinished stock, and you would get all the hardware, the nipple and the hammer and the trigger group and so forth. And you would basically do a light inletting, finish the stock with oil or what have you. And it was pretty simple, pretty cut and dry. This is the particular type of rifle that I cut my teeth on, and I built quite a few of them. They're a very simple mechanism. They're hard to screw up. You have a set trigger, meaning you have the back trigger, which makes the front trigger. It takes about 3/4 of the force needed to fire the gun. This action is a cap and ball style firearm. First, to load it, you would open up your nipple or a half cock or a safety cock. You would put your pre-measured charge down your muzzle. I suggest rule of thumb with these, since this did belong to me and I had made it for Jeff, 80 grains of powder is wonderful for this. This is not the original ramrod that came with it. This is actually a solid piece of plastic that I use. It's a fireplace for cleaning your chimney. Very durable, very flexible, and it won't break. Most guys will that aren't familiar with these style of muzzleloaders, they'll grab them back like this and they'll snap their ramrod in half. Yeah. This one completely flexes. So you take your patch round ball, if you're using round ball, or a conical bullet. I like conical bullets. You pour your powder charge in with a conical bullet. They're greased, so you don't need to use a patch. Use a bullet starter that would seat this in. Jeff has one here. You would press it against, seat it, and then use your rod, take it all the way down until it stops. Okay. Pack it home. Then basically you would return your rod to the pipes. And when you're ready to hunt, get up in your stand, then you can place a cap on the nipple. Once the cap is engaged or smacked, it'll fire. Unlike the flintlock that uses a pan system and a striker, this sets the charge off in the breech, burns the powder, and shoots your load home.
What do you think the range on the 54 caliber with open sights is for your average person?
For your average person,
yeah.
I'd say 50 to 70 yards. For someone who grew up and still shoots one, I used one that I built yesterday in 45 caliber and took a nice buck at just over 100 yards. And for me, it's a comfortable shot.
Well, one drawback, it's not as waterproof as some of the others, but it's a huge leap over the flintlock. Harmon, you want to try that one or move to the more modern?
I mean, I definitely like to shoot it. I don't know about hunting with that one though. So maybe a more modern one.
All right. Well, then I guess you could try the pistoli. just kidding. But show me that just real quick.
Just real quick. I have probably 30 different muzzleloaders. I probably have 18, 20 different. This is an 1851 Navy. This is a cap and ball, just like the rifle. With this one, you would take individual balls. You would put each a powder charge in each cylinder, and then take a round ball, place it over the hole, use this lever to pack it home. Once it's loaded, all the cylinders are loaded. Once again, you have a recess here where you would half cock it, and then your caps on each nipple, using 6, being sure to rest the hammer between the cylinders or between the nipples, keeping things utmost safe. Also, one thing that's very important about these, when you guys do or have the opportunity and load one, make sure you put in a grease. I like a white lithium grease over the end of each pre-loaded cylinder, just so you don't have a chain fire. A chain fire is when you have powder residue and the fire will jump from one cylinder to the next.
Woo! Thanks, Fish. Fish used to work for the NRA and the Smithsonian Museum. He's quite the resource. I appreciate it. You know, the more modern you go, in Oklahoma here, they're legal. In some states, you can't use the more modern guns, and you can't use scopes. Like in Colorado, you have to use open sights. Historically, though, I've had really good luck with CVA rifles. You know, they started out with the kit guns, but now they're ultra modern. This has been one of my favorite guns. It's just it's called an Acura, and this thing is almost, you know, like a single shot rifle. Yeah. Now, what's changed big time on these? This is a break open, and it has a hammer. What's changed? It's a huge deal. Is the breech plug. You know, you still have to load it by definition and by legality. You still have to load it from the muzzle. But when you can just take this breech out, it allows you a lot of things. One, every time you want to unload it, you don't have to shoot it, or you don't have to pull the bullet, which is it's dangerous and it sucks. You can actually take this breech plug out. It's a lot of threads, and see if this thing is loaded. You can see through it. You know, if you can see daylight through that, obviously it's not loaded. So, you know, but that's the first thing I do. Back in the old days, you know, you have to measure this to see how long, you know, where your rod comes to if it's unloaded. And if it sticks up above that mark, you know it's loaded. But this, you can just check it. So, you know, and one thing when you're keeping up with muzzleloaders, and I have a bunch, I can't remember, you know, which ones are loaded or not, and they're such a pain to unload. So first thing I do when I'm gonna shoot one, I check that. Now, the breech plug also, you need to make sure that's clean. If you can see daylight through the flash hole, I mean, it's clean. If not, you have to get like they make special tools or like a guitar string. Clean that out. You need to put a little, this is lubricant. When you put this back in, put a little lubricant on this breech plug. So most of the modern muzzleloaders now are this breech plug style. Yeah. This gun is just neat because it's really handy. It's short, light. It's got a good finish on it. So this, you can put up to 150 grains of powder in here, which gives you huge velocity, but it also, I mean, it hurts. You know, you're shooting like a 300 grain, 240 to 300 grain bullet with 150 grains of powder. I mean, it hurts, and you don't need it. You know, for deer around here, 100 grains, it's usually more accurate. So not too long ago, we had black powder substitute called Pyrodex that you had to measure. But now we use pellets because they're easier. So 2 pellets, 50 grains each. Put 2 pellets first, then pick your bullet. There's, you know, a 50 different style of bullets. There are power belts, there's all kind. My buddy who is hunting in the woods right now has this rifle, and he is OCD anal about everything. Darren, he's in the woods right now. He tried like 15 different load combinations, and I saw it with my own eyes. He found a load combination that it was shooting 3-inch groups at 300 yards. These guns normally, you know, with the energy and all, 150 yards is about tops, but if you take your time and find the right combination, it's ridiculous. I don't have that type of patience. Yeah. Darren found that combination and bought like 500 bullets, so that's the only gun he uses. Instead of the cap, the little number 11 percussion cap they've been using since the Civil War, now they just use shotgun primers, which are a lot hotter. They seal in this, so it's more waterproof. They're a lot more reliable. So this is a shotgun primer that you put in there. So powder, pellets, bullet, seat it good with the ramrod, put the cap, cock the trigger, ready to shoot with the scope. Then CVA came out now with a long range gun. This is almost like a modern rifle. You can see it's a bolt action style, which this just allowed the receiver, everything to be stiffer, heavier gun, really heavy trigger, free floated. They basically built a muzzleloader like they build a long range rifle. It uses an even different, more advanced priming system. This is the rifle that you can put 150 plus grains of powder in. This is a 45 caliber, so it's a lighter bullet. You can get super high velocities. This is a gun that I have sighted in for 300 yards. If I wanted to kill a deer with a muzzleloader at 300 yards, this would be it. But it's heavy. Around here, we just don't need it. If you want the ultimate in convenience, now these tradition guns, you know, tradition guns aren't the Cadillacs of the market, but they've come out with some innovative things. And today, the reason I'm talking so fast is literally we have to get you sighted in, get you comfortable, and get in the woods. So this is it. They worked with the ammo company Federal to develop what they call the, what is it called? Fire stick. This is a self-contained powder charge. So all you do in this, and I keep my possibles pouch because when you go muzzleloader hunting, you need some tools, you need patches, you need extra caps, extra balls, some basic cleaning supplies, a starter, but I put it right here in my possibles bag, that way I always have it. So this is 100 grain, they're color coded. They make 150 grain, 80 grain, oh no, 120 grain, but this orange one is 100 grain. Here's all you do. Put the powder in, just like that, almost like a shotgun shell. And I'm not gonna prime it yet. Then take these bullets. This is a bullet from Federal that I really like. And see it's rubber coated, so that piece of rubber forms the gas seal, and it also makes it easy to load. We're just gonna put that down, and I'm gonna go ahead and load it. So I'm gonna start it like Mr. Fish said, start it with this so you don't break your ramrod. Take your ramrod, and unloading this thing, you'll feel, oh, that's the little palm guard that fits in there. You'll feel it stop at the right spot. You don't have to hammer it down. You just get a firm seat. You don't have to put all your weight on it. Also, when you're doing this, do like this away from your chest. If it goes off, you're gonna lose your hand. That's better than killing you. So lean over it, never lean on it. You know, seat it good. This thing goes over that thing like that so it stays on. So now the only thing you have to do here is break it open again. And here's a little tip. In almost all of these modern muzzleloaders, they have these little spots in the butt pad. Put two right there. Put two right there. And so once I prime this thing, it will be fully ready to shoot. So I prime it, cock the hammer, and shoot. Okay. But in going out, you need a few things. Like I said, you know, you always need to carry multiple bullets. I like to carry, you know, I've had the worst things happen. If you wound an animal, you shoot another shot, you fumble and lose a primer or whatever, you need to take 4 or 5 extra loads. And so carry them in speed loaders. If you didn't have this fire stick system, here's a speed loader where you can have pre-measured the 2 pellets. You drop that in, and then the 2 pellets, and then your bullet come out. Okay. And then you just put your primer. Yeah. In your case, the fire stick, you're gonna have everything you need in that pouch. Okay. Can you see it out there?
Yeah. 2 inches left and low.
That's meant at a deer. It'll be fine. About every 3 or 4 shots, you need just to run a simple patch down it. Don't get it spotless. And if you don't have anything, you can just use your saliva. Yeah. But you could do this if it gets real tough to load. But if you're just sighting in on a clean gun, 3 or 4 shots, you're fine. Put one in before you're going hunting, you know, because we're not driving, we're just going hunting from the garage here. But, you know, get fully loaded on that one. Keep the primer, you know, that's your safety. You won't fire without the primer. But then put at least 2, maybe 3, you know, or 4 of these.
So you load it up before you...
Yeah. Yeah, and these modern muzzleloaders, back in the old days with the old ones, you really couldn't. They would get humidity. These are pretty much waterproof. If it pours rain, I mean, you're completely soaked from head to toe, like all day, yeah, unload it. But you know, if it's not raining or whatever, I leave them unloaded except for the primer pretty much all, you know, the whole week-long season. So, okay, man, let's load it up, get you some stuff, get a camouflage, and let's go hunting. Cool.